This podcast is brought to you by Most Valuable Podcasts, leading the league in podcasting entertainment.
What's up, and welcome in, everyone, to another episode of The Wrecking Crew, right here on MVP Sports. I am joined, as always, with my wonderful battery mate, Tim Shaw. Tim, I know we're a week off. We were off last week. We're on this week. We're back. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great, man. Been an exciting week in baseball all over the league. Cubs are still winning every series. This is good news.
44 and 20, 28? 28 to be exact.
Exactly. Hoping for some of the same stuff going forward. Doing great.
I mean, this team right now just finished a 4-game series with the Pirates, where we went 3 of 4. We're recording this Monday night. By the time this is up, we're already started a series against the Milwaukee Brewers, 44 and 28. And Tim, what's one thing that the Cubs have not done yet this season, which is a very good thing? Speaking of our divisional rivals.
Oh, they have not lost a series with
Kings
any
of the
division
Central.
rivals.
Kings of the Central.
Kings of the Central.
Oh, and
Kings of the North.
And by the way, Tim, I just noticed this, and I'm going to throw it out here. Remember when there was a team that was right behind us at 5.5, and everyone's like, oh man, this team, the last 10, they've won about 19 of their last 10. I know that's impossible. That's what it sounds like.
Right. I feel like there was somebody nipping at our heels.
Yeah, and now they're not.
Who was that?
And now they're not. Their wings have been clipped, Tim, clipped. The Cardinals are now in 4th place.
Flightless birds.
DX, suck it, baby. Suck it, DX style. You suck. You'll always suck. Go Cubs, go. But Tim, we're here.
My heels.
Woo! We are here
right, bitch.
to talk about the Cubs. The Brewers are now right behind them. We'll show them who's boss. The Brew Crew. They'll get what's coming to them this week. We got them, the Twins.
Watching them fight for 3rd place.
I think it's them and not the Twins. It's them and Seattle. We have this week 3 against the Brewers, and then the weekend series, 3 at home against the Mariners. But Tim,
now if you're looking at the schedule right now, sorry to interrupt you.
I can pull.
We're looking at probably about 11 games in a row, right? No off days coming up.
So we are looking at, our next off day will be June 29th. So we have 3 at home against the Brewers, 3 at home against the Mariners, then 4 on the road in St. Louis, 3 on the road in Houston. So June 30th will be our next off day. 2 weeks.
So 13 games, no break, no days off. You're gonna see some interesting lineups. I think that's gonna be fun to see how CC does that.
But go Cubs, go as always. Before we get into everything we're doing today, remember Patreon down below if you want to support us. Discord down below if you want to join one of the best communities in the universe. And go ahead, hit that sub button, that like button, all that good stuff down below as well. Also, if you're listening to us on podcast services around the world, hit that subscribe button, whether it's Spotify or Apple or anywhere that you are listening to the Wrecking Crew. But Tim, today what we are talking about is a little bit of all-star action when it comes to the Cubs. This is something that I'm going to be honest, Tim pitched this, like half pitched it 3 weeks ago. He pitched it then again 2 weeks ago, and I said, you know what? I like it, but it's a little early. Well, Tim, we're about a month out. We're right into that sphere. Yep. Voting is happening, just so everyone knows. The rules for the All-Star Game with voting. The 9 positional starters are voted by the fans. The rest of the team, pitchers, reserves, are voted by players and then commissioner office picks as well. So the only thing we're coming up with as fans is the 9 starters. Tim and I at the end of the cast are going to give, I'm going to do the AL. Tim's got the NL. We're going to give our World Series team, or not World Series teams, All-Star Game teams at the end. You know what's one thing I'm excited for the All-Star Game this year, Tim?
Tell me.
So they came out with the All-Star unis, right? And they look, to me, they look god-awful to me. They look boring. They look bland. I get with like the lettering of the NL and AL. They're trying to go off of that, like one of the versions of the Atlanta Braves, like fonts. They look dog water to me. So I'm excited that those jerseys will only be used in every event except for the game. In the actual game, the players will be wearing, like Cub players will actually be wearing their Cub jerseys. Like it was back when the All Star Game was great again. We're making the All Star Game great again, Tim. We're doing that right here on the podcast. So here's what we're gonna do, Tim.
I'm trying to Google them real quick. I gotta see these god awful.
They look awful to me.
And those, okay, I see them. So those are gonna be during the
like the home run derby, all the events minus the actual game itself.
Yeah,
because they gotta have jerseys.
And where is the All Star Game?
Atlanta, Hotlanta this year.
Atlanta.
Hotlanta.
Good stadium.
Yeah, good
stadium.
Good stadium. Turner was better in my opinion. But Tim, let's get into this. Let's go into, we're going to start with the Cubs, right? We're going to look at this team. We're going to, first things first, I want to ask you, Tim, in your mind, and I'm going to write this down, complete list. In your mind, Tim, just thinking of this roster, who are the players who realistically have a shot at making the All-Star team? Because let's be honest, not all the Cubs are going to make it. Who are the ones in your mind, just thinking really rapid fire, who are the ones that at least deserve consideration and should be on the first brainstorm list?
It's really hard to look around this infield and outfield and find guys that don't have at least a point to get onto the team. I want to start somewhere different. I want to start with the pitchers.
Okay.
And I think there's really only one guy in my mind that could be considered, and that's Matthew Boyd.
Okay.
He's been stepping up when we've lost two of our top two starting pitchers. He's stepped up. He's striking people out. He's got a decent ERA. He's pitching deep into games. That's the guy on the pitching staff I would give the nod to. But probably the only guy on the staff, on the pitching staff.
You don't think so? You do not think that Taillon deserves at least a look? Because this is just the complete list, like guys that deserve looks.
Well, I guess,
like for example,
okay, fine, yeah.
Like for example, I don't think, let's say, he's played good, but I don't think Carson Kelly deserves a look at All-Star Game. Like that's one where I'm like, okay, I'm not expecting Carson Kelly to make the All-Star Game.
Interesting. I as much as the bullpen has been solid and consistent, and almost all of them are pitching daily. I don't think there's anybody there that really gets a nod. Nobody's numbers really pop. Nobody's taking the bullpen on their shoulders. They're doing a team effort. And that's also something you should consider. Just because you're not considered an all-star doesn't mean you don't have a good spot on the team and an important role. Taillon, yeah, fine. I think he wouldn't get votes based on just when you don't look at him every day, every time he pitches, and you just look at his numbers. But yeah, that's fair. Can you think of? I mean,
so there's one.
Ben Brown has had some really good games, but he's also had some really crappy games. You know.
So there's one.
Ray does about 5 innings every game. Very good.
There's one pitcher who I'm gonna play spoiler alert here, and by spoiler alert, I'm saying for me personally, Tim, I would not have him an all-star just because, yet again, it's a pitcher, so you only have, 12 pitching spots between starters and relievers? I believe it's
12 pitching spots and 20 position.
Yep, 32 on the entire team. There is one guy that, I'll be honest, I've been critical of him. In the past, he has not been great. He's at a 4.45 ERA. He's at a 6.14 ERA. This year, though, Cub player, coming out of the pen, I'll give you that hint, a 1.73 ERA, has struck out 28 in 26 relief innings. My question for you, because I gave this guy a serious thought in the NL, should Danny Palencia have a case to make the All-Star team for the Cubs? This is a fringe pick, though. I'm not expecting him to make the team, but I'm sorry. I look at these stats of what he's pitched in 24 games, 26 innings. He has an ERA of 1.73, given up 15 hits, 6 runs, has 6 saves, and only 5 of those runs have been earned. 10 walks, 28 Ks. Should Danny Palencia at least get a serious look if he doesn't make it?
If he had been getting the same opportunities from the beginning of the year, I think you're right. He's just a little too new to the closer role. What is his saves per opportunities?
So saves per opportunities, he has 6 saves, 1 blown save, and 2 holds.
Yeah, pretty good numbers.
No. 6 holds. 6 holds.
And so, yeah, so he started the year out of the bullpen. I think we're doing Presley as our closer for the meantime. Yeah, if he had more opportunities there, you could have more times to shine. And who knows? I mean, we're still a month away. So I mean, he's been on track for that. Just not right now. I don't think so.
Let's see.
To be totally fair, I don't think he's gotten there yet.
So the All-Star game.
I initially thought you were going to be describing Drew Pomerantz.
No, not. I looked at I was surprised Danny Palencia was even going to be on my radar, Tim, because you and I talked about this about a couple days ago about what we were going to do, how we were going to map out the podcast, and Danny Palencia wasn't even a name that I thought of in our preliminary conversations. Just so everyone knows, the starting players for the MLB All Star Game will be revealed. They'll probably do the live event July 2nd at 6 p.m. Central Time. So July 2nd, about, what would we say, about 6-7 days before the game. Starters will be announced.
I think the game is like the 14th or something, right?
Okay. Couldn't remember. You're right. You're right. 2 weeks before. The complete rosters will be announced July 6th at 4 p.m. Central.
Yeah.
So we'll probably know about.
That's where we get to see.
We'll know about Danny on the 6th if he's in. We're about what?
Yes, he won't be a starter.
We're about 2 weeks out from those dates, the 2nd and the 6th. I'm trying to think. The other guys, Tim, that I'm thinking are on this list that aren't pitchers, because I agree with you. The only 2 pitchers, Danny Palencia, I wanted to throw some love just because of his stats, but Boyd and Tyone are the only pitchers, if on the team, I'm expecting. Positional players, though. These are guys I'm expected to get a look. PCA, obviously, is on the list. You have Tucker. He's probably on the list. Suzuki, he's on the list. One guy that you love, Dansby Swanson, he's on the list. Now, the one thing I'll ask you is Happ, Horner, Bush. How many guys outside of PCA, Tucker, Suzuki, and Swanson should be on these guys deserve a look list before we kind of narrow down who's in, who's out for the Cubs?
Unfortunately, because of how deep the field is, Happ probably gets left off of that.
Okay.
But Horner definitely deserves a look. Bush deserves a look, and I'm gonna disagree with you from earlier. I think Carson Kelly deserves a look.
Okay. I personally, the only thing I disagree with you with is I believe that Happ is on the fringe part. He deserves a look, even though he might not make it.
Yeah, fair.
Fair.
It's really hard to make an argument against a lot of these guys
because you got a great team, a 44-28 team. Like when you got a 24-8 team, it's kind of like the only Cub. I'll be honest. Carson Kelly has played great this year. maybe sounded like disrespect for me. I'm not trying to disrespect Connor Kelly. I mean Carson Kelly. Running joke here on the podcast. I always call him Connor Kelly. Always call him Connor Kelly. But probably the only Cub faux show who's in the starting lineup who none of us probably expect to make the All-Star game is Matt Shaw. Right?
I don't think he makes the All-Star game.
Yeah, I don't either. Like, that's what I'm trying to, like, think to myself. I'm like, no.
I'm sorry. I misunderstood what you said.
Like, he is not making the All-Star game. I'm not even expecting him to make the All-Star game. So, Tim.
Again, it's the Palencia thing. It's just he's just hasn't played enough games. Hasn't done it long enough.
So, I'm going to do this, Tim. We're going to go, we have our list of combined Cubs that could make the All-Star game. We're going to go down this list. I'll give a name. You and I will discuss, and then you and I together will kind of decide, do they belong on the without a doubt list, meaning like for sure in, or do they belong on the fence of like they could be in, but there's going to be some discussion for them. I'll get the easy two out of the way. The first one is PCA. He's a no doubter, right? No doubter.
No doubter. He's a starter in my opinion.
Okay.
I think he's, even though voting's just started and it's still brand new, I think I saw he's got the most votes out of any outfielder.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's a definite lock.
The other one's Kyle Tucker. Bona fide, he'll be an all-star.
Same thing. I mean, high average, hitting homers, putting up numbers, striking out very few times. Great player.
Dansby Swanson.
Fringe. Only for the fact that the competition is very difficult for him right now. I do think he's playing his best baseball that he's played in years, especially as definitely as a Cub. Mm-hmm. His power's there. He's got clutch moments, but that stuff doesn't translate to numbers on a screen. So you got a lot of people voting based on 4 stats, homers, average, OPS, and RBIs. Like,
yeah,
he might not make it.
So stopping here for a second, I think this is clear. This is kind of interesting thing to ask with you personally, because everyone's different. What do you look at when it comes to like PCA, Tucker? There are some players like Aaron Judge for the Yankees, without a doubt, all-star. Maybe Kel Rowley this year, without a doubt, he's an all-star. But when you're thinking, is this guy without a doubt a fringe? Are there certain categories, we'll just do position players, that you're focusing on? Because for me, there were really 3 that I was looking at. Little bit of average, but that wasn't high. Home runs, ribbies, and then maybe if I'm looking at a 4th, how many total bases are you getting? Basically, how many of these bases are you getting? How many home runs? Really, to me, though, I'm an RBI guy. How many runs are you batting in? What are you doing to help the team win? So for you, were there any stats that are like, hey, these are more important than these when trying to pick all-stars?
I was willing to sacrifice average points for good plate appearances. Okay. And I don't really, I guess that's determined of how many times you strike out, how many times you walk versus how many times you get on.
Good point.
I was willing to sacrifice average for that, but you can't really discount home runs, RBIs, power hitters. Guys that are doing that just kind of deserve it more. And I guess that's really the circle factor for me is when I was trying to pick guys, I didn't want like they were going to come after me, but like I didn't want there to be people that deserved it more getting left off.
Yeah.
So as well as people are playing, I mean, it's the All-Star game. You got to be the best of the best. Mm-hmm. So as good as you are playing, Michael Busch is playing out of his fucking mind. I don't know if he's going to make it.
Yeah,
because there are players playing better.
The one thing I disagree with you, and this is not about what you just said, it's about the Swanson thing earlier. You said he's on the fence. I'm putting him on that list because I want to have the discussion about him. But I just want to say, to me, Swanson's a bona fide all-star. He is
Good.
tier 2 below Tucker and PCA, but I would have had him on the no doubt list personally. The other one that I think is like Swanson, where some people might have him iffy because of the position he plays. Some might have him no doubt. Where should we put Seiya Suzuki? Is he on the fence or is he a bona fide yes all-star?
I think he's a lot closer to a bona fide all-star than on the fence.
Mm-hmm.
He's just been our most consistent hitter.
Yeah.
Like in terms of just clutch and average and power and timely hits and working at bats. He has been that for the Cubs. I used to think it was Ian Happ, but they kind of are the same guy. They're the most consistent, reliable at bat I can think of on the Cubs. Where I'm like, okay, they're not going to make a dumb out.
Yeah.
They're not going to swing at something out of the zone. They're not going to, unless it's Nico or unless it's Happ batting from the right side.
Mm-hmm.
But I would put him closer to all-star.
So you want to put him on the without a doubt list?
Well, I think I don't know. I think he has more of a claim than Swanson does.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know wherever you want to put that.
So I'll say this: in the end, it doesn't even matter.
No, he's not without a doubt. There's a doubt there.
There is a doubt, but with Seiya, it's a tricky situation. I'm gonna put him on the iffy list because we'll talk about it a little bit. But I feel like with Seiya, it comes down to if you're just looking at the numbers, yes, bona fide all-star. But because he's going to be listed as a DH, and because of that, Kyle Schwarber's a DH. Shohei Ohtani's a DH. Rafael Devers, now in the NL. I know that he hasn't played an NL game yet, but let's be honest, he's playing like an all-star this year. He's probably going to make the team now for the NL, which throws a complete wrench in the NL because someone's probably going to get left off because you're throwing an all-star from one league to another. That's the only thing. If he does get kept off, it's because of how many other DHs are there and because it's like, okay, thank God Devers didn't get traded to the Rockies because then he would have been the Rockies all-star hands down because every team gets one.
Yeah, that would have made my job easy for the third segment.
But the other names, let's do the other position players. Nico, no doubt on the fence.
Yeah. I say no doubt, but I can see why people would say on the fence. I think no doubt because again, it's kind of the same attributes or like descriptions I've given of the other guys. So consistent. He hits in the clutch. Mm-hmm. He might not have a homer yet this year, and that's what's going to keep him off the list because you look at that homer slot, big old bagel, which is super odd. But I think most Cubs fans would tell you we don't give a shit.
Yeah,
he's still producing, and he's low in the lineup, and he's hitting 288. Put it up. What do I got it right here? Got 29 RBIs already from like batting seventh. Like,
yep.
And we can't be remiss if we don't mention how good he's been fielding.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's a bona fide all-star for sure.
So
the only thing that's going to keep him off is because he doesn't have homers, but
not a single one.
That doesn't mean anything to me, really.
Yeah, and I'm going to say this. To me, the reason why he's going to end up on the iffy list on the fence for us in this is the same reason why Swanson is. Swanson, I said without a doubt. You said there's questions. He lands himself on the iffy list. Nico, the exact opposite. You're saying he's a no-doubter. To me, there's questions, but it's not, yet again, it's like Seiya. It's not because of his play and what you see.
Exactly.
It's because of not every Cub can make it, and there are other second basemen that I'm going to get to when we move over to that are playing out of their gourd. The next two I'm going to package together. Me personally, I think Michael Busch, I think Carson Kelly, even though they've been playing well, Tim, they're on the fences. They're completely like off the no doubter list. There's going to be questions if you're talking about Michael Busch or Carson Kelly making this All-Star team.
Yeah, I think it would be a cool thing to get Carson Kelly on the team because
Feel good
he
story.
is having this flash in the pan season. It'd be a great story. Of course it would. And like we keep talking about the comparison from other catchers. He's got some good offensive numbers. He's obviously slowed down from the hot stance he had at the beginning of the year, which came out of nowhere, taking him from the backup catcher to the starting full-time catcher and sometimes DH. I think he deserves a better look than just at 239 average that he's got or whatever he has.
Yeah,
Kelly to me, he's a guy that I don't bite my nails when he's at bat in a close game.
Yeah. I just look at it and it's yet again same.
But I can see why you say put him on the fringe.
Well, I put him on the fringe because, and I'm going to sound like a broken record here, right? And I hate to sound like it. A lot of these Cubs are going to fall into the same. Well, a lot of these Cubs are going to fall into the same category of like, the stats are good. What I see is good. I see an all-star player. But yet again, how many other catchers out there are bona fide? Because I'll be honest, Tim, I don't want to spoil anything, but right now, when you're looking at catchers, Carson Kelly's second overall in fan vote. Second overall in fan vote.
I don't want to spoil the third segment, but get ready.
So Kelly and Busch, I'd say that they're iffy.
And Busch has a pretty good claim as well, but it's hard to be an all-star first baseman.
Well, I'm going to come out and just say Busch's problem is that Freddie Freeman and Pete Alonso are first baseman. The polar bear's killing it right now.
There's 3 of my picks spoiled.
No one's saying that they're for sure on the team, Tim. I'm not saying they're your pick. You could have put Bryce Harper in there. What about Bryce Harper? How about Nathaniel Lowe?
I think Bryce Harper deserves it, actually. I would probably take Matt Olson over Bryce Harper this year. And we're talking about people that deserve it, right?
Yeah. Guys that deserve it.
Yeah.
The last one is Ian Happ.
You don't get in on just being a name. I think that's bullshit.
The last one is Ian Happ. What do you think about the Hapster?
Hapster's on the fence for me.
Okay.
And
same.
We don't want to be broken records, but it's the same thing. It's just who's out there that's better and beating him out. He's been actually a little bit less aggressive this year than I've liked him to be. And a lot of that has to go with the injury he had with his oblique. He's starting to get back, but me and you've talked about it a bunch of times. He hasn't been the same guy since that. He's starting to get back there, but he's still not. I want to see him hitting 285 with 11 homers right now.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, to me, it's like, should Hap be an all-star? I could see him being an all-star, but I can't for sure say approved. I can't do it. I can't knuckles approve him right now. It's more of like, instead of approve, it's I don't know.
It's app.
Yeah, it's app. So let's kind of
So I think we would say that the 2 bona fide no doubters
PCA
are
and Tucker
PCA
on the list. Oh,
no question. I don't think we have any debate about that. I don't think anybody out there would debate that.
Yeah, the last 2 I'm going to say, for me personally, I'm going to take them off because I just think they're not. Do you think Boyd or Tejon? No, Boyd and Tejon. Should they be put on the fence or taken off? Because I'll be honest, I'm gonna spoil it. There's too many good pitchers in the NL for them to be on the list.
Neither one of them would be considered a guy that can that can definitely go 8 innings
Yep.
without the manager worrying.
Mm-hmm.
And that's probably the benchmark.
Which I feel bad for Boyd because Boyd falls in, like how you were talking about Carson Kelly, Boyd to me falls into that on the pitching side. Like, feel good story.
Just over playing great.
Yeah.
Overplaying his own hype.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely. That is the shitty part about doing this. The amount of guys that deserve it that aren't going to make it because you only have a certain amount of spots.
I mean, enough.
I'm actually really shocked that there's only 12 pitchers that can make it.
So, I was going to ask this to you, though. Do you think, and this goes for any sport, do you think there should be a rule that, like, every team gets one All-Star? Like, for example, do the Rockies deserve an All-Star this year? Do the White Sox deserve an All-Star this year? Like, to me, that's just taking away an All-Star from maybe someone on a better team that deserves it. Not saying that, like, for example, I'll throw out White Sox because they're on the AL side. Miguel Vargas is probably going to be the White Sox All-Star this year.
Most likely.
Like, who would you rather see in the All-Star game? Miguel Vargas or Vlad Guerrero or Alex Bregman? Some guys who are playing a lot better on better teams. Like, should they get rid of the rule that, hey, every team gets one All-Star?
I don't think so. I didn't know you were going to ask this question, so I'm trying to think of it logically.
Spur of the moment. I didn't even know.
And I don't want to sound like that, because I think too often me and you sound like those boomers that just don't want to change any rules to the game. Because, like, this is the way it used to be. You know, like, I feel like if we had our druthers,
we're turning into our fathers.
Yeah, we would never have the DH.
We got to get rid of the DH because, play the field and bat. That's what you got to do.
Because you're supposed to be able to bunt and hit and, yeah. But no, I think they should keep it. I think they should keep it the way it is. I think it would turn into, if they didn't have those kind of rules, I think it would turn into just a popularity contest. Mm-hmm. And I think that's bad for baseball. It makes people think of high school. Mm-hmm. It's like it's just the school president election. Who's the coolest guy. I think every team should be represented in the All-Star game.
Okay, it was just spur of the moment question.
I get why the question is asked, because there are going to be guys on shitty teams that don't deserve it over other players at their position that definitely deserve it, but they're on a team with 3 other All-Stars. Yep. They can't be like, well, we can't have 12 Dodgers. We'll only have 10.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Like, just popped into my head of like, oh, should they get rid of that? And I don't.
What do you think?
I was gonna say I don't know, but I'm leaning towards yes. Only because in an All-Star game, I want to see the best players, and if the best players aren't on the Rockies, this is gonna sound very boomerish, even though we're millennials.
No, it's fine.
Like, for example,
we're 1990 guys.
This may spoil. You might say like, oh well, there's another spoiler, but so I'll use the White Sox side because for the last segment I did the White Sox. Miguel Vargas, does he deserve to be an All-Star if we're looking at the White Sox? Yes. But would I rather see...
playing first base or third base?
He is under... Let me go to my list. He is under third base. But, like, let me put it this way. Like, who would I rather see...
Easier position to fill.
Who would I rather see in the All-Star game? Vargas or Vlad Guerrero? Vargas or Aranda from the Rays? These are like guys that are not going to be starters that might be on the chopping block. Like, I would rather see Vladdy. I would rather see Aranda from the Rays than Miguel Vargas because he plays for the White Sox. And you might be saying, well, Ricky, if he's playing good, he's playing well, he should be an All-Star. It shouldn't matter what team you're on. I agree with that.
And I totally get that point.
But it has to be that, like, the numbers have to be there for you to be an All-Star. Not just, well, we got to pick a Rocky. Oh, we got to pick a White Sox. Like,
I get that totally. I mean,
Mhm.
that makes sense to any rational person. But it's kind of like the Olympics of baseball. Everybody should be represented. That's kind of just that's really the only point I have, and it might not be a
Yeah.
strong one, but I think everybody deserves to. It's it's the we don't all of us collectively as baseball fans have 3 days where there's no baseball except for the home run derby and the All Star game. So everybody should be able to at least root on somebody. And there are
Mhm.
times where people on the All Star game, especially on the bench, don't get playing time. They don't always give everybody an at bat.
Yeah,
So
I want to look something up. So Jonathan Aranda.
it's kind of more the on because not a lot of people really care who wins. I know there's implications on who
Mhm.
wins gets that league gets the home field advantage in the World Series, but like it's more about just being represented and getting that your name called out
Yeah, but like
at the
here,
beginning.
this is what I'm talking about, and this is why I would lean towards getting rid of it. Right? I'm gonna spoil something. Jonathan Aranda, when we get to the third segment, will not be on my All Star Game team. He didn't make the cut.
Really?
And and part of the reason why you could say Miguel Vargas, and I'm not trying to villainize Miguel Vargas, right? But just doing a simple player comparison, this is what it is: hits. Aranda has 69 to 61 for Vargas. Home runs, Vargas actually has more, 10-8. RBIs, Aranda 39, Vargas 31. Stolen bases, Vargas actually has 2, Aranda doesn't steal bases. But then everything else, the batting average is better for Aranda, 319 to 242. The OPB is better, 411 to 322. Slugging is better, 491 to 440. OPS is better, 902 to 762. And the OPS plus, 158 to 114. The WAR, 2.6 for Aranda, 1.7 for Vargas. So it's like, is Vargas the best White Sox? Yes. Would I choose Jonathan Aranda over Vargas? Yes. And that's what
Yep.
it comes
No,
to.
you
Of
you make a good point. You make a good point.
Jonathan Aranda, in my opinion, deserves more of a case to be an all-star than Miguel Vargas. And this isn't Ricky hating Miguel Vargas. I like Miguel Vargas. It's just I had to pick a White Sox.
You say it's the White Sox.
I just had to pick a White Sox. It's Jerry Reinsdorf, really. And now that the White Sox got new ownership, maybe they'll actually fix that garbage dumpster fire. Hopefully
I don't
they
think
don't,
anybody
because then the
rational
Cubs will
would.
be the best.
Yeah, I don't think anybody rational would disagree with you.
Yeah.
I think the only reason I am is boomer tradition.
Yeah.
You know.
No, I get it. So, Tim, let's move over. We've got our guys that could be all-stars for the Cubs.
Oh,
now,
yes, we do.
So we have 2 of them that are bona fide all-stars, Tucker and PCA. Now we're going to get into the nitty-gritty. We're going to go through these other guys, look at who they might be up against in their competition, and kind of pick where they should be. Tim, I'm going to ask you. At first, I had a guy that I was going to say, let's start here. I'll let you pick out of the list of guys that we had, which is basically Dansby, Seiya, Nico, Kelly, Bush, and Happ. Who do you want to look at first?
In terms of comparing them to the rest of the league,
Comparing them to basically their position in the league to decide if they're going to be an all-star or not.
yeah, I think we got to go with Bush because I want to say that I think more I've been thinking about this since we started. Bush deserves a lot more recognition than he's getting, but he's just not that. He's just not that sexy name because he's got those 2-3 guys out of the big cities that are not that Chicago isn't a big city, but what did Stephen A. call us, a flyover state? Right?
Flyover. We are not a flyover city. We are one of the biggest 3 markets in the U.S.
Yeah, but I look at Los Angeles and I look at New York. I look at Pete Alonso and I look at Freddie Freeman. Guys that are putting up monster fucking power numbers. What did I have? I don't think I wrote down Freeman's numbers, but
I have the
Alonso's hitting 293 with 17 homers.
Yep, 63 RBIs, 960 OPS. Freeman is 330 average, 9 homers, 41 ribbies, 955.
That high, and I mean, how fucking old is he? And he's still putting up these numbers. He definitely deserves his flowers and deserves the nomination.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, it's probably a starter.
Yeah.
Um,
You think
Pete
Freeman's
Alonso's doing great.
You think Freeman should be the starter?
Again, I don't want to reveal too much of my thing.
Yeah. But I'll reveal for me because I got the AL. If I was doing the NL, Pete Alonso would be my starter, hands down. That's all I'm gonna say.
Okay, well,
Pete Alonso's been killing it this
National
year.
League, you talk to me. How about that?
I will say this, Tim. I will say this. You have this segment. You have changed my mind on one thing. Because originally I did the NL just to be like, okay, where would I differ from Tim when we get there? I made a change right now. Freddie Freeman would be on my all-star team list. He was not originally. He kicked off a Cardinal.
Mm-hmm.
He kicked off a Cardinal. Get those stinking Cardinals out of here.
Get the fuck out of here.
But like, I agree with Alonso and Freddie Freeman are the clear 1-2. There's one other thing that I think plays an important role here. And I don't want you to tip your hand. I just want to throw out this discussion of like, these are two options. We don't have to pick who. It's just, this is going to, in my eyes, keep Michael Busch out. Every team needs an all-star, right? Well, when it comes to the Cardinals, to me, there's two names. There's Wilson Contreras and there's Ivan Herrera. And if Contreras gets the nod for the Cardinals, then Busch for sure ain't getting in. If Herrera gets it, then maybe he can.
I'm surprised because you usually have such a boner for Nolan Arenado. I'm surprised that he's not on your.
I mean, looking at the stats, Wilson Contreras, the average is a little low, 251, 9 home runs, but 45 ribbies. Like he is like he is scoring the runs.
Yeah, I gotta remember you're an RBI guy. I forgot.
Knock them home. Runners get on base. You gotta knock them home. Like that's how you win games. And like you look at Herrera, let me scroll down to him because he's a DH for the Cardinals.
Yeah, right here if you want.
Yeah,
he's hitting 312, 8 homers, 32 RBIs.
Yep. And then Nolan Arenado. What? He's third base. Technically, they consider him, right? Third base.
He's not Spanish.
I'm just like saying it that way. 243, 8 home runs, 36 ribbies, 692. Arenado's not going to be a Cardinal all-star.
So basically the same numbers as Herrera, just a 60, 80 point dip in average.
That's why I think, me personally, don't answer this, Tim. I don't want you to spoil anything, but I can. If I was choosing between the two, Contreras would be my all-star from the Cardinals. But yet again, the point stands. Just because there's a debate between Contreras and Herrera, I think ultimately, if I'm deciding here, Busch in or out, Busch is out.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think? In or out?
I think you're right. And it's a tough pill to swallow, and I think it's a mature decision by you.
All right,
if I was there, I would pat you on the back.
I'll pick the next name we go over. How about a guy who, similar situation, Dansby Swanson. So Dansby, you look at the stats, 243 average, 13 homers, 38 ribbies, 710 OPS. You're saying, ooh, average is a little low, but he's hitting home runs. He's knocking them home. Look at that OPS. I got to ask you this. Does Francisco Lindor and Mookie Betts alone keep him out of the All-Star game? Because they're the top two in fan vote. Do they deserve to be on this roster more than Dansby Swanson?
Lindor for sure has been playing out of his fucking mind. I think he is a clear-cut lock. Who was the other guy you said?
Mookie Betts.
Mookie Betts, yeah. It's so tough because you gotta Sophie's choice. You gotta pick the guy that's slightly worse, and I think Swanson still is on the outside of that circle.
So I'm gonna say this. Me personally, since I was I'm going to give my AL side so I can do this and like not spoil anything. I think that Lindor should be the starter for the NL at shortstop. If I'm picking who's my second best shortstop in the league right now, is it Mookie or is it Swanson? Not over their career, but this season, I'm putting Dansby number 2. Me personally, I'm putting Dansby number 2. And honestly, I think that, in my humble opinion, Lindor, Dansby, and Mookie should all make the All-Star game. They should all make it. And if you're asking how do you make it work, because usually like after the 5th, they pull all the starters and put in the reliefs. Have Mookie play second. Have Mookie play outfield.
3 innings before they.
Have Mookie play. Mookie's played the outfield. Mookie's played second. Like, you could play Mookie somewhere else and play Dansby at shortstop.
But again, I don't. Like I said earlier, I don't think it's really about winning the game. Like, it's kind of about that.
No, it's about getting players to play time. Yeah,
exactly. So I don't think there's a lot of baseball strategy in there. One thing we haven't talked about that I just thought of, and I don't want to
go ahead.
Go off on a tangent. Managers.
Aren't they the World Series managers?
What, from last year?
Yeah, don't they do the World Series managers or the All-Star game?
Oh, managers? That actually sounds right. I don't know. That sounds right,
I think it's the I think it's just the, let's see, who manages the All-Star game? So
Was it always that way?
So the Futures game, Chipper Jones and Marquise Grissom will be the managers for the Future game. Not what I wanted, though. I don't want the Future game. Who's coaching the All-Star teams? Nope, that's... Since 1934, the managers of the game are the managers from the previous year's league pennant winners and World Series clubs. So it'll be what? Boone and... Right? It was Dodgers-Yankees last year, so it'll be Boone and Dave Roberts. And then the coaching staff of each team is selected by its managers. So yeah, it's going to be Boone and Dave Roberts this year for the All-Star game. But so you think, by the way, you think Swanson's out? So you would say out?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Ooh, this is one where it's if we had 3 people, Tim.
Unfortunately, I would.
If we had 3 people, we would need a third vote. I think he's in.
Well, let's run that into probably a very similar conversation.
Yeah. Say ya.
With Nico Horner.
Oh, okay. Hit me.
I think on my end that I'm drafting, if I'm the god of the league, one of my infielders.
Okay.
And not just reiterate everything, but like just the way he's been playing this year, that he hasn't given up a single error. I think it's too easy to overshadow fielding, and that's really big for me.
Yeah. So when it comes to Nico, I think that
he does have an error this year.
Yeah. So when it comes to Nico, the reason why I'm saying no for Nico is because I think the thing that is going to keep Nico out of the All-Star game is the fucking fan vote. And it is fucking atrocious to me. Makes me want to throw up that the fan vote is going to keep Nico Horner out of the All-Star game. And this is why, Tim. Right now, if you look at the fan vote, the number 1 player for the All-Star game, Ketel Marte. And some may say, Ricky, you're crazy. Ketel Marte, look at those numbers. 288 average, 12 home runs, 23 RBIs, 959 OPS. Oh, and look at, he's only played 45. I look at it and go, yeah, he's only played 45 games.
It works as a positive for him.
It works as
that's annoying when he's only played. But look at the numbers he put up. Why is he better on the offense than most of the players that have played 60 games?
Like, to me, and this is gonna sound hypocritical, that's why I'm bringing it up. You know who deserves to be in the All-Star game who hasn't played all year? Ronald Acuna Jr. You want to know why? His numbers are better than Corbin Carroll. Or not Corbin Carroll, Ketel Marte.
Did one of our producers stooge off my list to you? Because you are reading my list verbatim.
No. I'm not like, I'm bringing up Acuna Jr. because he also has not played the entire season. But to me, he's more electric than Ketel Marte. Like, not here. Do I think Nico should be a bona fide all-star? No, that's why he's on this list. But it sickens me that it's going to be a fan vote because more people like Ketel Marte because he's played 45 games. Like, honestly, to me, you know, and don't tell me if you have this or not. You know who should be the starting second baseman for the NL? Tommy Edman.
I swear to God.
He's been playing on fire. On fire, Tim. I'm not saying to spoil anything. I'm saying what I would have. Like, this fan vote thing just pisses me off that Nico's not going to make it because of a fan vote. And the fans can't even get the number one second baseman right. You know what I'm saying? Well, let's be honest. They can't get the number one first baseman right. But that's besides the point, too. Am I right? Is Nico going to be off the team because of a fan vote?
Not off my team.
Is that a prediction or a spoiler, Tim? So you're putting Nico on. Out of the Cubs. You know what I'm going to do? I'm color coding this, by the way. I have a special color now. Carson Kelly. Moving on. I'm just going to say this. I don't think Carson Kelly makes this team. Just flat out. It's not even like this person, like, I don't think he's even going to be on the radar. If I'm being completely honest. And yet again, that is nothing against Carson Kelly. What do you think is the pathway for All-Star Game ship for Carson Kelly? What, he's got to win the fan vote?
Get the writer vote.
Okay.
Because it is a good story. He's come back from a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And frankly, the competition really isn't that fierce at catcher in the National League.
Mm-hmm.
You got one guy that's really standing out, but in terms of power numbers, Carson Kelly's right up there. I will detract a little and say that he's probably a little bit more fringe.
Mm-hmm.
But I got no problem with having the three catchers on my All-Star team.
At the end of the day, because to me, what you just hinted at, having three catchers on the team, I think is going to keep him off if he doesn't win the fan vote, because there's two things I'm thinking of, and I'm not going to name players because I don't want Tim to think I'm giving away his team. But like you said, there's one guy.
You've already done it.
There's one guy that's miles away the best catcher in the league right now for the NL. And then there's one guy that plays on a team that if he didn't play on this team, he wouldn't even be on the All-Star team. I'm just saying, I don't know what team he's on, but he wouldn't be on the All-Star team if he wasn't on the team that he's on.
You're such a piece of shit.
To where I would say no, Carson Kelly misses out.
It's really going to depend on what happens in the next month.
Yeah.
Next 2 weeks, really.
What happens in the fan voting, you mean?
No, how they play.
Oh, okay. So you're banking on the players in the commissioner's office voting him in.
Well, do you think that the fan voting is pretty much, it can't be changed? I mean, yeah, like, do you think like it's pretty set in stone who's gonna be all-stars and who isn't? Like, like there's still time, right?
There is.
Or are you kind of like there's not
So
really any time left?
to answer that question right now, and this isn't giving anything away for you, Tim, it's just reading what's fact. Right now in the voting, Kelly is number 2. Will Smith is number 1. And I'm going to say that the voting is not over yet because you take LA, you take Chicago, you take the Dodgers, you take the Cubs, 2 big fan bases, 2 passionate fan bases. If Cub fans want to rally and vote Carson Kelly in, it could absolutely happen. It's just which fan base is going to vote their guy number 1.
And maybe that is the reason why Carson Kelly is voted number 2 right now.
Probably.
Maybe it is just because he's belongs to. Do you think he'd have the same kind of voting if he was in Tampa?
No.
Or
No.
Pittsburgh?
There's more
Probably
Cubs
not,
fans
right?
than Rays fans. That's not a shot at the Rays.
Yeah.
They won 7-1.
So maybe it's just a lot of hype just because of where he is.
Yeah.
That's definitely a factor.
That's why I hate the fan vote, to be honest with you. Across all, it's just a popularity contest. I'm saying Kelly misses out.
Okay.
Are you saying he misses out?
I wouldn't pound my desk if he did make it.
I'll let you pick. Say a Suzuki or Ian or did we talk about Hap or Horn? We talked about Nico. Say or Hap.
Yeah. Let's talk about both.
Okay.
They're kind of both can both play DH, can both play the outfield. Again, probably another circumstance of just not great enough. I think Suzuki has more of a right to it than Hap does, but both are just not quite votable yet.
To keep it very simple, Tim.
If one of them goes on a tear, if Suzuki goes on a tear where he hits like 5 homers in 2 weeks or something, I think he makes it. He's just beneath.
So you
being a no doubter.
So you don't think Suzuki is in the All Star game if the voting was counted today? Like if the teams were announced today.
Either of them are.
Okay. See, to me, I'm on the other side. I think Suzuki's numbers are good enough. Suzuki, All-Star, book it now. Hap, numbers are good enough to be considered. Too many good outfielders out there that he's going to lose out. He's going to lose out to other outfielders. I would say Suzuki in, Hap out. What do you say?
Yeah, no, I would agree with that. If it was one or the other, Suzuki in, Hap out. I would agree with that totally.
So very quickly, Tim, before we go over into the third part of this is how we voted. Are you ready? I'll give you this. How many Cubs All-Stars do you think we have?
How many did I pick, or how many do I think?
Between us talking and voting,
it's the same thing, right?
How many Cubs do you think we have in the All-Star game out of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 that we had on the list?
I got 4.
Okay. So the 3 Cubs that we have missing the All-Star game: Carson Kelly, Michael Busch, Ian Happ. The 2 Cubs that we were...
Hold on. One of my 4s is still Carson Kelly. I still have Carson Kelly making it.
So you didn't say that. So, okay, we have 2
I might have backtracked a little, but I still got him.
Okay.
I right now that I'm thinking, yes, he's still there.
So I digress. We have 2 that are out for sure: Michael Busch, Ian Happ.
Yes.
We have 3 Cubs that you and I were split on. One said no, one said yes. They were Carson Kelly, Nico Horner, Dansby Swanson. We have 3 Cubs that both of us said yes: PCA, Tucker, Suzuki. Now, the prediction that we'll now go with is, so that is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We've cut the field from 8 to 6. If you had to put your own money on it, Tim, out of those 6, just given a number, how many Cubs do we have in the All-Star game?
3.
3? 3. Going 4. I think Dansby gets in.
You going 4?
I think Dansby gets in.
I hope so.
That's the
I
only
really do.
out of Nico, Carson, and so you think neither Swanson, Nico, and Kelly will get in, even though you would have some of them in. And I just think Nico will get in.
3, I think, is PCA, Tucker, and Nico. Those are the 3 I have at the top of my list. Carson Kelly's number 4, Swanson's number 5,
okay.
Suzuki's number 6, and Happ is number 7.
So then we only had 2 that we totally agreed on, because I thought we totally agreed on Say at the end, but we didn't.
I don't know, man. You know, we're all over the place.
Yeah.
What do you want me to say?
So our final thing, you think we'll have 3. I think we'll have 4. Together talking about it, PCA and Tucker, we had bona fide in. We had Swanson, Suzuki, Nico, Kelly, where one of us said no, one of us said yes. Bush and Happ, we both said no.
And listeners in the comments, like, tell us who do you rank? Like, rank them 1 through 7, 1 through 9. How many of these guys do you think, and where should they be ranked in terms of making the All-Star game? Because we love bad criticism. You know, like, tell us we're stupid.
We're not the judge, jury, and executioner here.
No. We actually enjoy mean comments more than good ones. Good ones are boring.
I like the good ones.
Hey, I like you guys. Oh, cool.
I
want to have somebody
speak for yourself. I like the good ones. I like the good ones. But Tim, thank you for doing that. As Tim said, comment down below. Let's move on to the last part, Tim. I got the AL. You got the NL. We're going to come up with our all-star teams. You have dove through the NL. I have dove through the AL. You want me to go first?
No, I'm going to go first because we've already done half my list.
All right, so this is how we're going to do it. List off your 9 starters, your 9 fan vote starters. So who do you think's going to be like, who would you have as the starters? Then
I'll give my reserves, and then I'll do the pitching.
You want to do reserves before pitching?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I'm fine with that.
I'll do all the position guys and then the pitchers.
The floor is yours.
All right. At catcher out of Los Angeles, I'm going with Will Smith.
Okay.
A lot of people would agree with that. Also out of Los Angeles, at first base, I have Freddie Freeman.
Okay.
Also out of Los Angeles, at second base, I have Tommy Edman.
Shocker.
San Diego, third baseman, Manny Machado.
Ooh, at third base, you have Machado?
Shortstop out of New York, I have Francisco Lindor.
Okay.
Playing left field out of Atlanta, Robert Acuna Jr.
Okay.
Center field out of Chicago, Crow-Armstrong.
Mm-hmm.
Right field out of Chicago, Kyle Tucker.
Mm-hmm.
DH out of Philly, Kyle Schwarber.
All right. So your starters are Will Smith, Freddie Freeman, Tommy Edman, Francisco Lindor, Manny Machado, PCA, Kyle Tucker, Ronald Acuna, and Kyle Schwarber.
That sounds correct.
All right. Hit us with the reserves.
Oh, man. You know what? Now I'm wishing I did a batting lineup. That would have been fun to make a lineup. Reserves.
Mm-hmm.
No particular order.
Yep.
Cincinnati, shortstop. I have Ellie De La Cruz.
Okay.
Chicago, catcher. I have Carson Kelly.
Okay.
Sticking on the catcher, Colorado. I have Hunter Goodman.
Okay.
New York, first baseman. I have Pete Alonso.
Okay.
Arizona, second baseman. I have Ketel Marte. Chicago second baseman, I have Nico Horner. Philadelphia shortstop, I have Trey Turner. St. Louis under DH, I have Ivan Herrera. Also out of Arizona, outfielder Lourdes Gurriel.
Okay.
Miami outfielder Kyle Stowers. Killed the
Mhm.
Cubs this year. And my last player is Atlanta third baseman Austin Riley.
What position was Riley under again?
Third base.
Third base. So I'm gonna say this. Can I react real quick to some of these?
Of course.
So some differences that, and this is why I came up with my own. Some differences I have, and there's one big one. So Mookie Betts nowhere to be seen. That's interesting. Rafael Devers nowhere to be seen. That's interesting.
I went for second baseman on my infield
Okay.
instead of shortstop in third. But I thought Austin Riley deserved it also.
I'm just gonna say some guys that I put on mine that were nowhere on yours. Wilson Contreras, but you went Herrera. That's the debate. There's no problem there. I think Corbin Carroll deserves a look. Outfield. Also James Wood for Washington. But I think I know why. I think I know why you left him off, because I think I know where you went Nationals. And then Devers and Seiya. Like those are the differences with me. The big one is, and yet again, I could see the debate. You went Manny Machado, where for me, I would have went with Eugenio Suarez. Do we not remember how good this guy has been the first half of the year? His stats are better than Manny Machado, except for like RBIs, I think. Dude was killing the ball. I know it was only like he's cooled down since, but like that's the big one where I'm like, whoa, he went Machado over Eugenio.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a reason why you went Machado over Eugenio?
Eye test.
Okay, the eye test. Hey, it's a good test. You'd stick to it. How about your pitchers?
Is that the only players off the list that you found objectionable?
Oh, fuck you. Where the fuck is Ohtani, dude? You don't have Ohtani on this list?
It's interesting you ask, because he's my first pitcher.
Oh, fuck you. Fuck you, Tim.
Yeah.
He pitched one. Actually, you know what? Here, let me look. How did he do tonight? Because he pitched tonight, Tim. It was his first start tonight.
Doesn't matter.
Fuck you. Fuck you.
I snuck him in.
Let's see. How did he?
The starting lineup.
Wait. Batting tonight, he's 2 of 3 with 2 RBIs. Pitching tonight,
Awesome
he pitched 1 inning tonight. 1 inning, Tim.
You give up a run?
Come on. He pitched 1 inning. Let me look. How many
strikeouts?
1 inning, 2 hits, 1 run. 1 inning, 2. What was that? Oh, please be a home run. Please give up a home run. Yeah, Manny Machado sack fly in the first. So it wasn't a home run, but
yeah, so some bullshit run. That probably wasn't even his fault.
Dude, he's the dick. All right, so Shohei's your first pitcher.
Mm-hmm.
Over the NL Cy Young Paul Skeens.
Yes, of course. Second pitcher is Paul Skeens.
Yeah, thank you.
Third guy I got out there is Kodai Senga.
Okay.
Zach Wheeler out of the Phillies.
Okay.
Out of San Francisco, Logan Webb. I've got 3 more starting pitchers. Jesus.
Really? Okay.
Mackenzie Gore out of Washington.
Okay.
Robbie Ray out of San Francisco, and Zach Gallen out of Arizona. And then my relievers are going to be San Diego, Robert Suarez.
Mm-hmm.
Edwin Diaz, of course. Trevor McGill out of Milwaukee.
Okay.
And Emilio Pagan out of Cincinnati.
So I have 2 questions for you. And I feel like I know one of them, right? Because you did that bullshit thing where Ohtani's a pitcher, which makes 0 sense. So, like,
bullshit. That's smart.
So, starting wise, you went with more starting.
Sorry, are we not allowed to use pitchers as pinch hitters?
He's pitched 1 inning this year, Tim.
I'm sorry. Did the game change where we can't use pitchers as pinch hitters?
He is. The disservice that does to the game, you know that people want to see Ohtani hit too. And if he's pitching, you know he's going to start, like, they're going to start him at DH. He's going to win the fan vote for DH. God, I hate that you did that. So, that bullshit. So, because of, so number one, because of that bullshit, you just said fuck Chris Sale?
Sale.
How is Sale not on your team?
Because Mackenzie Gore was better.
Zach Gallen wasn't your last starter? Zach Gallen didn't even make my team, dude.
I got 8 starters.
Yeah, I know. Gallen didn't even make my 7. However, by the way, I will say, the one guy, remember before the podcast I said I don't want to influence you, so I didn't want to say the guy? I was very interested to see if you'd have Robbie Ray on the team, and you did.
Yeah.
Because with me, it was Robbie Ray or Matthew Boyd. The other guy that completely gets just fucked by you is just so Camilo Doval from San Francisco is not on your team, correct? Reliever?
Correct.
Yeah. So basically, by you having Ohtani as a pitcher and then Zach Gallen to have 8 starters, you just said complete fuck all the Chris Sale and fuck all the Camilo Doval. Or Doval, I'm sorry, Doval. I'm thinking Octavio Dotel. Camilo Doval and Chris Sale, just fuck all. Wow. This is right up your alley, though, Tim. Buck the trend. Let me do something different. Oh, I can't believe you right now. I can't believe you right now. By the way, though, besides Gallen and Ohtani, you and I, every other pitcher I agree with. Skeens, Kodai. So I will throw out this note. Kodai Senga in the last start had like a weird, went for a ball out of play, got injured. If he's out for a significant amount of time, would need to be replaced by someone, which maybe Zach Gallen could come in, or Chris Sale, who you left off, would come in and replace him. But he's one I thought of.
Then you know who I would replace.
He deserves to be in, but who?
There's a guy in the Cubs that we didn't mention.
Matthew Boyd.
Mm-mm.
Tayon.
Mm-mm.
Brett Brown.
Chris Flexen. Chris Flexen has pitched 19 innings and has yet to give up a single run.
Then why didn't we mention him? Why didn't you bring him up when we talked about Cub All Stars, Tim?
Because he hasn't pitched enough innings, Ricky.
Okay. All right. Sometimes I can't with you. The AL, huh? Let's see how much different. Let's see how many problems you have with my AL, right? So we're starting. Do you want me to do the same thing? Starters, reserves, pitching?
Whatever you want to do. I didn't look up the AL, so I probably don't have much to disagree with you on.
That's fine. So starters, we've got catcher. I've got from the Seattle Mariners, Cal Raleigh. First base from the New York Yankees, Paul Goldschmidt, former Cardinal.
New York Yankees.
From second base from the Detroit Tigers, Gleyber Torres, former Cub. Shortstop.
It's so funny that he's gonna make the All-Star and not as a Yankee.
No, not as a Yankee.
Makes me so happy. It makes me so happy.
At shortstop from the Sacramento A's, Jacob Wilson.
Who are the Sacramento A's? What are you talking
They're
about?
the Sacramento A's. They're playing in Sacramento.
Huh?
The A's, the Athletics. At third base from the Cleveland Guardians, Jose Ramirez. My outfielders.
Yeah, I mean, has that guy been fucking playing out of his fucking mind?
My outfielders from the Yankees, Aaron Judge. And then my other two, both from the Tigers, Riley Green and Javi Baez, former Cub. Javi Baez starts in the outfield.
Where's he? Is starting center field?
Judge will probably play center field.
And then you got Green and right?
Green and right, Baez and left, whatever you want to do it. To me, I just put outfield. They'll make it work.
Yeah.
And then DH, this one.
Yeah, I was gonna say you didn't give the DH yet.
This one might be controversial because the guy I picked isn't even first or second in the fan voting right now, Tim. I went with Brent Roker of the Sacramento A's. He deserves to start in my mind. Ryan O'Hearn, who is currently number one in the voting, I think is not doing, like, he's 27 RBIs to 41 from Roker, 10 home runs to 15. Like, Brent Roker deserves to be the starter at DH. That's why I went there with that. Then my reserves, I've got at catcher from the Toronto Blue Jays, Alejandro Kirk. Then I have Kirk. At first base, also from the Blue Jays, Vladimir Guerrero Jr.
Love lad.
At second base from the Tampa Bay Rays, Brandon Lowe. At shortstop, I have two shortstops in reserve. One from the Toronto Blue Jays, Bo Bichette. The other one should be starting in some minds, but Jacob Wilson beat him out. Kansas City Royal, Bobby Witt Jr.
Yeah.
Then we got third baseman.
Yeah, you might get some people upset with that one.
Third basemans, I got three of them. I got Miguel Vargas from the White Sox, Junior Caminero from the Rays, Alex Bregman from the Red Sox. It's not Candelario, it's Caminero, I think.
Okay, yeah.
You're thinking Candelario. It's not Candelario.
I thought you were thinking about Heimer.
No. Junior Caminero. Then my two outfield reserves, I've got Byron Buxton of the Twins and Taylor Ward of the Angels. And then at DH from the Orioles, Ryan O'Hearn. Big one I left off, Jackson Holliday not on my team. He's not there. Ben Rice not there. Mike Trout doesn't make it. Stephen Kwan not there from the Guardians. Let's see. Cody Bellinger from the Yankees.
Kwan's a big
one
to leave off.
And then, let's see. They made it. Let's see. Who else did I leave off from these fan votes? Yeah, Jackson Holliday, I mentioned.
Kwan's a big one to leave off. People will probably really get behind him.
There's only so many spots. And to be honest, what screwed him? Buxton, the only Twin. Taylor Ward, the only Angel. Like...
Yeah, you had to pick one of them.
They're the only Angel. And plus, like, I like Brandon Lowe. I think he's done. Lowe and Alejandro Kirk, people might say, why'd you leave Holiday or Kwan off and put Alejandro? You need a backup catcher. And Alejandro Kirk is that guy. My starting pitcher, starting out of Detroit, Tariq Skubal, best pitcher in baseball behind, or in front of, I should say,
easily,
Paul Skeens. Then I have Max Fried of the Yankees, Hunter Brown of the Astros, Garrett Crochet of the Red Sox, Chris Bubic of the Royals, Nathan Eovaldi, and Jacob deGrom, both from the Texas Rangers. And then in relief, I've got Josh Hader from the Astros, Anthony Munoz from the Mariners, Carlos Estevez from the Royals, Luke Weaver, the Yankees, and Tommy Kahnle of the Detroit Tigers. Pitching was really straightforward to me from the AL. Just the best.
It was a pretty easy one to.
Yeah, I mean,
can I ask you somebody why you left off? Jose Altuve.
I don't think Altuve's having that great of a year this year to be on there. Like if I'm thinking, because let's see, where's Altuve?
It says he's hitting 275, 11 homers, 31 RBIs. Low OPS is only 757.
Where do they? Do you know what position they list him at? Because I'm not seeing him on the
second base.
Oh, okay. I'm trying to think of my thought process.
He's always been a second baseman his whole career.
He played outfield a little bit, didn't he? Thought he played like left or right.
I don't think so.
No, I
don't think so.
Oh, I know why. Brandon Lowe. Brandon Lowe to me has been doing, yet again, you got the average is better for Altuve, but Lowe's got more home runs. He's got more RBIs. He's got a higher OPS. Brandon Lowe has been phenomenal for that Rays team.
No, I didn't. And I wasn't saying make Altuve a starter.
Yeah.
I was just wondering why he.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm saying Brandon Lowe was one of my reserves. And to be honest, out of my reserves, very.
Torres starting. That's right.
I do. I'm very infield heavy with my all-star team. I got one reserve second baseman, two reserve shortstops in Bobby Witt Jr. and Bo Bichette, and then three at third base, Vargas, Caminero, and Bregman.
Infield heavy. Yeah. Good call.
So, like, Altuve just didn't make the cut. The big one, too, is, like, I wanted to try to find a path for Mike Trout to be on this team. He's missed time. His stats aren't there because of it. And Taylor Ward, to me, is the best player on the Angels. I almost put Logan O'Hoppe in there.
Just two catchers?
Two catchers, yep. Two catchers. Two outfielders, that might be a little weird, but we could probably put Bregman in the outfield for 4 innings.
I'm not asking you to take somebody off the team.
Yeah.
But if you had an opportunity, like a 33rd player, who's the third catcher you would pick?
The third catcher?
Yeah, who's the third best catcher in your opinion in the American League? Because you have Raleigh out of Seattle. And then you have Alejandro Kirk out of Toronto.
Oh,
is there another guy,
Logan O'Hoppe,
that you would be like, oh, that would be? Say again.
Logan O'Hoppe from the Angels. I almost had him on the roster, and had to choose between him and Ward. Yeah. Logan O'Hoppe easily. I know 226 average, but I mean, 14 home runs, 31 RBIs from a catcher. It was basically between him and Kirk is the bagel boy is killing it right now. And Toronto. Tim, I'll ask you, any final thoughts on this All-Star game? How many Cubs are in the home run derby? Fun question.
Ooh.
We should have at least one, right?
Right?
Yeah, we should have at least one, right?
Yeah. Do they go straight like the 8 people that are leading the league in home runs?
I'm gonna look.
Is it like a no question thing or is it a voting thing?
I'm looking it up right now. Home run.
Because I don't think it's like basketball where guys will like bow out of the 3-point or the dunk contest. You know, I think people are honored to do it in baseball. I would think definitely PCA is in it.
So 8 players are.
That's just good.
Yeah. So the eight players are seeded based on their season home run totals. So basically, going off that, how many Cubs do you think we'll have in the home run derby? If it's the top 8 home run leaders,
I think it's just one.
Any guess at who it is?
Yeah, Nico.
So here's our home run derby if it started today. Aaron Judge, Cal Raleigh, Shohei Ohtani, the pitcher, Kyle Schwarber, Eugenio Suarez, Corbin Carroll, Taylor Ward, and PCA. Actually, it'll be weird who they pick.
Is that just the top home run hitters?
Top 8, yeah.
Right? They like that's
what they
that's
pick.
how they determine who it is going to be, right?
Which is interesting because
there's no question, there's no vote or anything, right?
Just the top 8. I just
we know who's going to be in it.
Yeah. The interesting thing right now, PCA and Taylor Ward are also tied with James Wood with 18. So there'd be a tie-breaking process there. Seiya Suzuki, along with Pete Alonso and Junior Caminero are right behind that at 17.
17. Mm-hmm.
And then when it comes to Cubs, Dansby and Kyle Tucker have stopped hitting home runs. They're still at 13.
Yeah, Tucker is still, I think he's floating around 13 or 14.
Yep.
But he's still getting on base. He's still walking a lot, but yeah, maybe not a home run derby material. I think the league would be stoked to see PCA in the home run derby.
Do you think both?
I think.
Do you think both PCA and Seiya make it? Seiya's one off.
In the derby? No.
Yeah, Seiya's one off of the 18 to get into the top 8.
No, I'm struggling. I'm hoping PCA still makes it.
Okay.
He needs to catch up a little bit.
Yeah,
because he's at the bottom of the list.
Him, Taylor Ward, and James Wood would make up the final. Any of those 3 would make up the final 2 spots.
Yeah, I've been on a few like full league MLB like Reddit pages and YouTube pages.
Yeah,
and around the league, people really like PCA. They want him to be like the next face of the league, which is weird because he's got that blonde hair and those blue eyes.
You know what I'm kind of hoping? I'm kind of hoping PCA can hit a couple more home runs and move up to like 6th in the league, because I'll be honest, I don't want to see PCA go up against Aaron Judge or Cal Raleigh in the first round, because it's seeded off of that. So like if whoever's 7 and 8, here's the 2 best home run hitters this year.
It's not seeded immediately.
Yeah, it's seeded off of top 8. It says.
No. So the first 8 hit as many as they can, and then they seed it.
8 players are seeded based on their home run derby totals, and are given 5 minutes to hit as many home runs as possible. Winner of each head-to-head matchup advances.
So it's an attempt to not make it one league heavy. I'm sorry, to make it possible for anyway. So how they used to do it was National League versus American League in the seeding. Now they do the first round. Let's see how many homers everybody hits, and then second and third round are seeded based on that.
Okay, you're right. For some reason, I thought maybe 2 years ago they did it like it was a bracket.
No, this is new. You're right. It was.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, because last year all 8 hit home runs. Then the top 4 totals went to the semifinals, and then they were seeded. Or basically,
well, then maybe it's the same thing as last year. Because they're not seeded immediately.
Yeah, where it was
after the first round.
Jose and Alec Boehm both hit 21. Boehm was 1. He then faced Hernandez from the Dodgers. Ramirez went against Bobby Witt. The winner of those 2 matchups went to the finals, and then Hernandez won the whole thing.
Yeah.
So you're right.
I'm really excited for it. I can't wait. Fun.
I can't wait to see a Cub in the home run derby again. That'd be even fun.
Yeah, I know. It's been a long time. There's a trivia question for you fans out there. Who's the last Cub to be in a home run derby?
Oh, I know the answer.
Answer's below.
I know the answer. I'm not going to say it.
Do you know the answer? I don't know the answer. Text it to me.
We'll talk about it afterwards. I'm pretty sure I know the answer.
Yeah.
Last question for you, Tim. Very topical MLB question right now. So Cal Raleigh and Aaron Judge both sit at 26 home runs. On June 18th, 10:59 p.m. Central Time, does Cal Raleigh stop Aaron Judge from the Triple Crown this year? It's the only category of the Triple Crown Judge does not lead by a milestone.
Is the home run?
Home runs. He's tied with Cal Raleigh. Cal Raleigh can stop Aaron Judge from being the Triple Crown winner this year.
Remind us the Triple Crown. It's average, homers, and RBIs?
Yep. I want to say that's true.
Does Cal Raleigh stop that?
Yeah, average home runs and RBIs.
Cal Raleigh's a big boy, man. He's got a lot of strength.
Aaron
Judge is a big boy too. I really feel like Aaron Judge is trying to make a statement this year. I don't know the answer to that. I don't have a guess. I kind of hope that Aaron Judge has like an awesome year.
Yeah. Well, he's gonna win.
Like,
he's gonna win
hope
the
that
MVP.
We'll see.
You're like, we'll see.
Well, who knows? I mean, I do think that Raleigh's gonna be nipping at his fucking ankles.
Yep.
If not overtaking him for
Yep.
the whole season.
I think home runs will
That'll
be
be
the
fun.
thing.
You know what? You've really in this segment, this whole podcast, you've really piqued my interest in the American League because I really haven't been paying attention to anything other than the Cubs.
Pay attention to those Cubbies, baby.
I know, and I feel like as a broadcaster, I should know more about the entire league than just my Homer team opinion.
Well, good thing Wrecking Crew, we only focus on the Cubs, so no one's gonna hold it against you for not knowing much about the AL.
This was a weird one. We went out of our comfort zone. We started talking about other teams. It was fun. I like this.
This was a great idea, Tim. Tip of the cap to you.
I think we should do a part 2 in like 2-3 weeks. Like or at least a little segment going up into.
You know what we should do?
Right before, because we're doing them Mondays and the All Star Game is a Tuesday. We do it the right before. That'll be fun.
Well, how about this?
Because you wrote down all of our names, right? All of our selections.
So how about this? The podcast that we would usually do on June 30th, because Monday. What if the week of June 30th, we record the podcast on Wednesday instead, and do a reaction to the starters? Because the starters will be announced on Wednesday. And for that week, the podcast will come out a little later. We react to to how many Cubs made the starting list. And then kind of from there go like, okay, here are our starters. NLAL, how would we change our reserves? Because we would then have to, maybe some of our reserves were voted in as starters. Maybe Carson Kelly's a starter. Yep. And then I have to change the NL.
Yeah. I wouldn't hate that. I mean, I think that'd be good. Yeah. I think we should also consider, and obviously, fans, tell us what you'd rather have us do. I think we should consider at least live streaming the Home Run Derby. That'd be fun.
Potentially, I'm down for it, or the game, or both,
or both. Yeah,
or both.
I think that'd be fun. Get some people in the chat. We've had them in the past. It's always super fun when we do a live chat or a live stream. We haven't done one in a long time.
Yeah,
I don't think we've done one this year, have we?
We have. We did one earlier this year.
Yeah, okay.
We watched a Reds game or a Pirates game.
It's always fun. We get you guys in here, and
it's a Diamondback game. We did it for the opening series.
Oh, the home opener. You're right. Yeah, we did. Yeah. Oh, that was so.
It was
fun.
It was a road game, but yeah, it was our first series.
Yeah, we had like. I feel like we had like 25 people in there.
We had a good following.
It's always fun, man. Good chat on the commentary. Me and Ricky are always looking at the YouTube commentary, and we're responding to you guys. It's always fun. Thanks for listening to us today.
Yeah, if you guys want to support us, Patreon's down below. The Discord is also down below. You can hit that sub button, that like button, comment section is there as well. Tim, it was
greatest
Discord in history.
Greatest Discord.
Tim, it was a fun podcast with you. Any final thoughts before we wrap this up?
No, go ahead, big boy. Wrap it up.
We'll be back next week. Go Cubs, go. This week, big series with the Brewers. And as always, have a good day, everybody. As always, we'd like to thank the people that make these videos possible, our patrons whose names are displayed on the screen now. If you would like to become a patron, go ahead and click the Patreon icon in the bottom right. And if you'd like to check out another video from MVP Sports, hit the video in the upper left. As always, thanks for watching.